But we're very excited to introduce Harmeet, who is going to give us a wonderful guide to some of the work that we've been doing together, but also some of the Space's wider work around demystifying digital engagement. Thank you, Harmeet.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Kat. I'm Harmeet Chagger-Khan. I'm a British Indian female with purple coloured hair, and I'm wearing a green t-shirt, and my pronouns are she and her. I'm executive producer for the Space, and I look after all of the interactive, immersive and digital innovative projects that we commission. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about one way or another experience, and also another one of the Spaces projects that we commissioned a couple of years ago. So really looking at digital design and storytelling. Okay, so bear with me. I'm just going to get slides up. Okay. Okay, so in February 2023, the Space worked in partnership with WOW, Leeds 2023 Festival, and Trinity Academy in Leeds to work with a group of 10 Year 8 female students to create a digital interactive play space in response to the question, what would a world designed by women and girls look like? So the digital experience was a way to complement the epic barn raising that happened in May for Leeds 2023 and ask further questions of the issues that face young females today and create a way to reach new and younger audiences. So we appointed a digital studio that was based in Leeds, that was 4, to work collaboratively with the group of students to co-design and build this digital play space over 2.5 months of after-school workshops, where they explored themes like activism, gender equality, tech for good, women in STEAM, and design for public and digital spaces in an interactive and playable way. So the students explored different issues that affect young women, and we did some future visioning to imagine what the world would look like if it was designed by women and girls. The workshops allowed the girls to generate ideas, to debate openly and honestly, and talk about the challenges that they face on a daily basis. So this was everything from period poverty to being harassed, to not being heard and not feeling like they have the same opportunities to break the glass ceiling. They also played with lots of different digital experiences that 4 had created. So some of those were map-based, which had information on them. Some of those were games-based, some were location-based. And this was just a way to get them thinking about the kind of digital experience they might want to create to inspire others and encourage an open conversation. As well as co-designing the final experience, they also knew that they would have the opportunity to run a festival to run a workshop at the festival, at the barn during the festival run. So they had the opportunity to plan a workshop, to think about how they could get other young people to go through the one way or another experience, how they would open up the conversation and ask questions. And also it was a chance for them to kind of practice facilitation skills and build their confidence in a public setting. And to be fair to the group that was selected at Trinity, they were a very confident group of girls, which really helped to shape and define what the final experience would be. And then working on actually thinking about how they could translate that into a workshop process was brilliant, because it allowed them to gain confidence, especially as 2 groups that they ran the workshop with were older students who were year 9 and year 10. So it really got them to think about how they could be in a position of leadership and facilitation and get that kind of conversation going. So after 4 workshops of ideas generation, debate and playing, the group created mind maps, and then they pitched their ideas to 4. It was from those ideas that One Way or Another was born. So what is One Way or Another? It's an immersive experience that pushes the user to go through life as a woman, experiencing day-to-day challenges and making decisions that they may never have had to consider. So I'm just going to show you a trailer. Okay, and I'm just going to show you the actual experience as well, which you can go onto the website and go through yourself. So you go to one-way-or-another.co.uk. The link is in the pack as well. And as you can see, you can play this on your laptop, on your mobile phone, or even on a whiteboard if you are in a school setting. And you click on start, and then you have an opportunity. You have to answer a couple of questions, which is just to gather some data on who's using the experience, and then you can choose a topic. So there's 4 experiences: the attitudes, health, safety, and environment. I'm just going to run through health, and then there's various scenarios that you can go through and choose the choices that you might make if you were in that situation. So it says, at least you've got your health. In a lesson, you get your period. At first, your teacher doesn't let you go to the toilet as it's just been break time. When they let you go, you realize that you don't have any pads or tampons. There is no one else in the bathroom for you to ask. What do you do? And then you have 2 choices. Do you wait for someone, or do you use toilet paper? So obviously, if you are working with your groups and you are asking them to do this by themselves, they can work through by themselves. What's really interesting was when we were doing this in the playtesting, when we were checking out the prototype, and in the festival workshop, we had groups of people doing this together. So it really did open up a conversation about, why would you make that choice? Why wouldn't you wait? Or what would you do next? Or what on earth would make you choose that? So it was a really healthy way of getting them to think about, actually, there's only 2 options here, but either one of those could be the right one for whoever is in that scenario. So I'm just going to click on use toilet paper. You use toilet paper as a temporary solution. When you get back to your lesson, you get a tampon, but your teacher won't let you go to the toilet again. You find it hard to concentrate as you were worried about your period. You go to the loo before your next lesson, but get into trouble for being late. And then there's a statistic, which is 35% of girls aged 13 to 18 have taken time off school or college because they have their period. But there is good news. So actually, all of the 4 scenarios have a positive message at the end. In January 2020, the UK government launched its period product scheme, which allows educational organisations in England to order free period products. Since the scheme's launch, 94% of secondary schools and 90% of post-16 organisations in England now provide free period products to pupils. And then if you want to go back and you want to see what happens if you choose the other scenario, the other choice, you can just click back. Otherwise, you go to next, and then you get a tip for being an ally if you are male, tips if you are a man. Periods are a healthy, normal monthly routine that girls experience. Tackle period stigma by never making a girl ashamed about having her period. What we found when the girls ran the festival workshops was that actually, which had, because they were year 9 and 10, they had mixed groups of girls and boys running through the experience, scanning a QR code and then going through experience, was that we had a really it was a really healthy opportunity to talk about those things and how somebody might feel if they were in that situation. So it was good to be in that. It was good to have that environment where there could be an open conversation about some of these scenarios. And then you finish. It says you've done one of the experiences, and then there's a question, a prompt. How do you think our health would be different if the world around us was built by women? So again, there's another opportunity to have a conversation about how the future could be changed and what it might look like if it was designed to be more gender equal. Okay, and then you can sign up, or you can go to the credits, and then you can go back to the menu and you can try the other experiences again. So I'm just going to go back to the PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, so as part of the design process, the digital studio used Twine, which we heard Kat talking about earlier, which is a piece of software to create the branching narrative. So the choices that you can go through and decide which way you want the story to go, which path you want it to go down. And you can download Twine for free. It's completely free to download. And you can use it to create choice-based narratives, choice-based games. Okay. And You can then, this is what it looks like. So if you use Twine, you can build something like this as a digital experience. And this is the early version that Four had created that we play tested with the group. So this is the Twine experience. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in real life. So apologies as I flick through the different screens. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to just go back a second. Okay, so there you can see you input all your choices into Twine, and if you download the activity pack, it tells you exactly how to do this. And then once you've built your different scenarios, you can then have a text-based version. So obviously the one that we designed for One Way or Another has a lot of graphics on it, as well as text, but you can see it's quite simple to use. This one's about the environment, about walking home after school in the dark. And again, you can decide, do you want to walk through the park because it's faster to get home, or do you want to walk around the park? And you can go through the different choices, and then you can input what text you want at the end as kind of way of bringing that narrative to the final conclusion. Okay. I think one of the really good things about that entire process, the workshop process that we had when we were making One Way or Another experience, was that actually it allowed us to go through a series of different things: debating, ideating, storyboarding, testing, which is what we use Twine for, prototyping, and then making the final piece. And if you decide that you want to kind of incorporate digital design with your groups, then actually Twine is a really good way of doing that. If you want to add on from the initial exercises that Kat ran through at the beginning of the personal safety activity pack. And I'm going to show you one more project that the Space commissioned before I give you some tips on thinking about digital design. So, okay, so this is the project that the Space commissioned in 2021. The Growing Project is a short film about the community-led growing scheme transforming the lives of Birmingham's homeless and vulnerable communities through gardening together. The project aims to show how positive steps can tackle issues of homelessness, isolation, social and economic inequality, promote health and well-being, and create community-led inclusive solutions to regeneration. The Growing Project is a community gardening programme working with organisations who support vulnerably housed people and those experiencing crisis. While increasing access to green space, the Growing Project develops garden sites across Birmingham, which are designed, nurtured, and enjoyed by people passing through difficult times. The successful pilot season in 2019 at St Anne's Hostel culminated in a harvest dinner for 60 people, including Andy Street, the Mayor of the West Midlands Combined Authority, and local land and business owners. Guests and participants shared food, stories, and discussed the symbolic meaning of taking food from seed to soil to plate. Okay, and the Growing Project now currently operates across 7 sites in Birmingham, where the team of facilitators engage people in weekly therapeutic gardening and food-related activities. So they came to the space to commission the short film as a way of kind of showcasing the work that they do in the community at a hyper-local level, and really wanting to create digital content in the form of storytelling about what the project was doing in order to advocate for what they were doing and create also an archive and a legacy for the project work that they're doing, as well as using it to gain further opportunities to increase different sites. So we're going to show you a short clip from that film. Risha, if you could cue that up, thank you.
The Growing Project programme works across the city with people who are experiencing homelessness. We're an arts organisation in Digbeth, and we support artists to make work in lots of different ways. The key thing about the project has been making a way to connect with our neighbours. We're working very directly with St Anne's Hostel Crisis, and we're also working with developers like Bruntwood and Homes England, who are very active in the area. The magic of the Growing Project is the way that it brings these different constituents together, sharing experiences. That then has an impact on the city and the way that development can happen, the agency that people have themselves, and the way that artists can make work to support all that to happen.
Anything that I can get involved with, I do get involved with. The therapeutic aspect of it, it's something that's intrigued me for a long time.
Every Wednesday I look forward to it, and more people are getting involved now. Made me a better person.
Growing our own vegetables and then watching someone else cook it, it's given me a different perspective.
Just because somebody doesn't have a home doesn't mean to say that they have any less investment in a city. We're not like a gardening company that just comes in and redesigns a space. It's a very democratic approach to enable the residents to build the relationships with their space, with the plants and wildlife that exists.
Thank you, Risha. So on to the final slide, which just goes through a couple of key points if you are thinking about digital design and using that in your groups. So I think the main points to think about really is, firstly, what are you using digital for? So how can you use digital to empower change? Is it because you want to create content and you want to tell stories in a different way? Is it because you want to open up debate and create an opportunity for people to think about the different sides of a particular issue and so create some choice? Are you looking for ways to think about problem solving an issue, and therefore you might want to try some gaming techniques or branching narratives even to kind of set up that problem solving kind of space? Or do you want to use digital because you are trying to find a way to communicate what you are doing and allow others to connect to the work or to the stories that you want to tell about the kinds of things that your groups are thinking about? So when I kind of think about the work that we commission and also the work that I have made as an artist myself, I think it's always important to think about the inquiry, the question, the problem at the heart of what you want to do before you think about the digital element. You know, you might have a group of people who want to think about personal safety because they are concerned about knife crime, or you want to talk to your group about learning how to identify the difference between real and fake news on social media, you know, now that we live in a time where there's so much misinformation. Or maybe you want to use digital as a way of finding another way to be empowered and create progress, especially now when the world's socio-political views are particularly complex. And then I would say, once you know what your problem is and you've unpicked that through debate and through ideation, through mind mapping, storyboarding, through some of the exercises that you can do in the pack, then it's about being authentic. It's about involving your groups in that co-working and co-designing process. It's also about having the right collaborators. So that might be involving other artists or activists right from the outset to inspire your group. It might be about bringing in specialists like technologists or filmmakers that can help you think about what is the final digital piece that you're making. Or it might even be about just asking someone to help you with the software that you're using. So Twine is really easy, but there are lots of other digital tools out there that can help you create digital content very easily. And then finally, it's about shouting out to the world about the work that you're making. Doesn't matter how small the idea or the story is, actually marketing and distributing your work to, even if it's just to your own networks or beyond, is really, really important because it creates a sense of ownership, authenticity. It allows the people in your group to feel like they have been heard and have a voice. And we did that with one way or another by creating the trailer and then shouting out about it on socials. So I hope you can see how easy it is to think about creating your own digital content with your groups and also use it as a way to ask questions, open up debate, inspire others, and create a better future. Thank you very much. And I'm going to hand back over to Kat.
Thanks so much, Harmeet. That was incredible. It's really great to hear about everything that the space is doing. And as someone has mentioned in the chat, it's just a lovely moment for us to all get together and talk about how we're trying to affect change in our own settings. So thank you so much to everyone who's participated today, who's got involved in the chat, who's told us about what they're up to. It's really, really brilliant to have these moments to feel connected and like we're all trying to strive for the same thing. And I really hope that all the resources that we've shared with you today just support you to help young people to feel empowered and to raise their voice. Always with the WOW Foundation, we want to platform young people. So every year we do our Young Leaders Directory, which has just launched. Please do go online and check it out. We're platforming really incredible young people from all over the world. If you have a young person who's doing something incredible, please tell us. We'd absolutely love to amplify their voice and to stay in touch with you as organisations to continue to support young people.